I am so happy to see you. It's me, Kirsty, and Mr. Bird. So, my friends, I need your help. Mr. Bird ate something again. Can you help me? Great. Okay, let me give you a hint. He ate something that starts with the letter M. So, take 3 fingers up and hide them over your thumb. So your thumb is hidden. This is the letter M. Does anybody know what sound M makes? You're right. Okay, so let's think of a word that starts with that sound. Are you ready? Monkey. Yes, monkey starts with the letter M. Mr. Bird, did you eat a monkey? He didn't eat a monkey. Let's think. What is one more word that starts with the letter M? You're right. Mouse. Mouse starts with the letter M. You guys are so smart. Mr. Bird, did you eat a mouse today? Oh, good. I am so glad. Okay, one more word that starts with the letter M. Mirror. A mirror starts with the letter M. Mr. Bird, did you eat a mirror today? He ate a mirror. Okay, I need your help. Let's ask him to open his mouth, please. Open your mouth, Mr. Bird, please. Great, it worked. Okay, let's try our rocket ship. That's usually the best one. So 2 fingers over, cross them over, count backwards from 10 with me. Are you ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off! It worked! Our first time! Okay, all right. It is a mirror. Mr. Bird, why did you eat a mirror today? I wonder what our Bible story has to do with a mirror. Okay, well, thank you, Mr. Bird, for giving us this clue. All right. Well, our Bible story isn't really about a mirror. It's about how God sees us. You know how when you look in a mirror and you can check out your hair or see the color of your eyes? Well, God sees us too. So our story is about a man named Samuel. And God had a special job for Samuel to do. God told Samuel to go to a man named Jesse. And Jesse had 8 sons. There were 8 of them. And God told Samuel that one of those sons was going to be the next king, and that he was going to anoint him, pour oil over his head, and he was going to be a king. So Samuel went to Jesse's house, and Jesse called his boys in, and Samuel started looking at the boys. And he goes, wow, this one is the oldest. It has to be the one that God is going to make king. But God said, no, Samuel, that's not the one. So then Samuel looked at the other brothers. He goes, oh, this one is tall and look at his muscles. He must be the one. And God said, no, Samuel. So Samuel looked at all the boys and God had said no. And Samuel started counting them. And he was like, wait a minute, there's only 7 boys. Don't you have 8 sons? And Jesse says, well, yeah, I have one more, but he's out in the field. He's the littlest, the youngest. You know, he's babysitting those sheep. Samuel said, Jesse, call your son in. And so here comes David. David is the youngest. He is the smallest. But as soon as Samuel saw him, God said, Yes. And you know why? Is because God didn't look on the outside of David. He looked at David's heart. Isn't that amazing? That even though Samuel looked at these other brothers and he was like, they were tall and strong. But God said, no, I look at your heart. And that is the same thing that God does with us. Even if you feel like you're too little to do something big for God, God knows that you can do things big for him because he looks at your heart. He doesn't look how little you are right now, or you might not have all the muscles right now, because God doesn't care about that stuff. He looks at your heart. So, isn't that amazing? I love how God doesn't look on the outside of us. He looks at our heart and he makes sure that we are kind and we are helpful and that we are going to do big stuff for God. All right, guys, I'm so glad that you guys tuned in this morning to hear another one of God's amazing stories. God knows you, and he knows me, and he sees what's in our heart. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye.
You lift me up, fill my eyes with wonder. Forever young in your love, this freedom's untainted with you.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to One Kids Online. I am Miss Gina. Thank you so much for joining us here this morning at One Kids. It is a new month. It's the month of August. Can you believe it? So guess what? That means we're starting a brand new series today, and I am so excited about it. For the next few weeks, we are going to learn about what it means to be brave. Today, we'll learn about a shepherd boy named David who was chosen for a very special job. Do you know what that job was? Well, why don't we go ahead and turn it over to Carl and Cassie to find out.
Hi there, you little chicken nuggets. We got a real exciting show for y'all today, so buckle up. It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
Welcome to Grow TV. Introducing your host, Carl, and your co-host, Cassie. Where we learn, where we grow, and we talk about Jesus. Once again, welcome to Grow TV.
Hi there, kiddos. I'm Carl.
And I'm Cassie, and boy are we excited to hang out with all of you.
Hope y'all had an awesome day today, because I sure did. I discovered something real cool today.
What, that polar bears are left-handed?
What? No.
That all bees have hair on their eyes so they can collect pollen?
What are you talking about? No, that's frightening.
Okay, so what did you discover?
Well, I was walking down the street like this, kind of like just swaying my arms and doing all that. And a man walked up to me and said, "Hey, are you a penguin?" And obviously, I said no.
Good answer.
And then he came back and said, "Why not?" I said, "Well, I'm not a penguin. I'm a human. And humans can't be penguins."
That makes sense.
Right? That would be ridiculous. But at that moment, he raised his hand and slapped me on the cheek. He said, "You can be anything you want." And it was at that moment I had an epiphany.
Epiphany?
Gesundheit.
Okay, so what was your epiphany?
I can be anything I want.
What do you mean, like for a job?
No, I can be anything I want. I mean, who says I can't be a penguin?
I'm not sure I follow. I mean, are you taking advice from the guy who slapped you?
Yeah.
What happened after he slapped you?
Well, nothing. He slapped me and then walked away backwards. It's kind of weird.
Okay, well, it's interesting advice, but what do you want to be?
Well, part of me wants to be cool, dangerous, mysterious, but most importantly, different.
Different? Why?
Well, I feel like when I read the Bible, I read stories about people who had really big, unique, defining qualities about them. So if I could have something different about me, maybe God can recognize me as someone special.
I don't know.
So here we go. I've created some characters and I want to see what you think, okay?
All right.
Hello, my name is Ivan, and I ride polar bear. Oi! How about you and me go through some logs and eat some haggis for freedom? Hello! My name is Bobby Callahan the Third. Fancy some tea, do you? High society. Howdy there, Tex. Who's up for some catfish and wrestling some gators? Yeah! Hey there, I'm cool.
That's not good.
I know that, but I'm trying, okay?
All right, well, I just
What?
think...
What do you think? I'm acting my heart out here, Cassie. I want to be different. I want God and others to know who I am.
I understand, Have you ever heard of the King David?
Is that the cereal guy?
That's Captain Crunch.
So, not the same?
No, completely different. He was an important person in the Old Testament.
Really? He sounds cool.
He was, and God had a big plan for him. You see, at that time, God's people wanted a king simply because other nations had a king. And the one they got, King Saul, didn't love God like he should have.
Well, that's a bummer.
It was, so God told Samuel to find the king that God wanted.
Wait, who's Samuel?
Samuel was a man whose name meant the Lord hears. He was chosen by God to become a prophet, and he did a lot of good for a lot of people.
That's awesome.
Yep, so Samuel went to meet the man that God was going to name the new king of Israel. And he went to a house of a man named Jesse. Samuel met all of Jesse's sons and still didn't meet the one that God had picked.
So did God make a mistake?
Nope, Jesse had one more son that was out taking care of his sheep. Want to guess what his name was?
Captain Crunch.
Nope, that's cereal. Want to try again?
Yeah, I know this. David. It was David.
You got it. So David was the youngest of the brothers, and it was right then when Samuel anointed David to be the next king.
So he was the youngest brother?
Yep.
Wow. I figured he'd be the oldest, strongest, and coolest brother. Something that made him different.
Well, you know what made him special?
A cool accent?
Nope.
Superhuman strength?
Nope.
I got nothing.
His heart.
His heart? What about his heart? Was it gold or something?
No, Carl. God knew his heart, and God knew he would make a great king.
Wow. So that's what made him different, huh?
Yes, we must always remember that God calls every single one of us to be brave and do amazing things. And we can never forget that God knows who you are and God knows who I am.
Wow, that's so cool. That almost sounds like our big idea. Wait a minute, that is our big idea. Today's big idea is God knows who I am.
And on the count of 3, we're gonna say it out loud together, okay?
Ready?
Ready.
1, 2, 3. God knows who I am! What a big idea. You did it.
So do you feel better now knowing that God knows who you are?
I sure do.
Good, so you can stop with the silly voices now, right?
Absolutely. Unless it's a tad bit boring and I have to jump into another accent. Tally-ho, children!
Thank you for watching, and tune in next week for a new episode of Row TV.
Wow, the job God chose David for wasn't an easy one. And remember, David, he was pretty young. He didn't have a lot of experience doing what God chose him to do. But God knew that David was the perfect choice. And I love this story because it reminds me that God knows who I am. God has chosen special things for me and for you to do. God knows who we are better than anyone else. Samuel and David's dad, they probably would have never picked David because he was the youngest. But God knew who David was, and God knows who we are. And he sees the greatness in us and all of the potential that we have. Let's pause and go ahead and talk to God for a moment. Will you pray with me? God, thank you for knowing us and having a plan for us to do what you want us to do. Help us remember that you're always with us and that we are created for a very special purpose. We love you. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, you guys, that's all the time that we have today. If you want to dive deeper into this lesson, take a look at the discussion questions at the end of the video. Have a great week. We'll see you next time.
Waking up knowing there's a reason. All my dreams come alive. Life is for living. With you, I've made my decision. Hey! You lift me up, fill my eyes with wonder. Forever young in your love, this freedom. cloud like an